Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Knox Black, chilling with the top back, and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Black's Magic Arena. Now, if you've been rocking with us all week, then you already know what the deal is here with the Black Magic Gauntlet. But if you're new around here, I'd like to take a little bit of time to explain what it is. So each week, we're going to be taking 5 different decks and placing them into the gauntlet. Every deck is going to have its own day to show out and showcase what it can do. And at the end of the week, we're going to be scoring these decks, and the leader will be crowned the king of the week, and the final 2 decks will be completely eliminated. So the stakes are going to be high here. So far, we've seen things like Boros tokens take over. We've seen things like Golgari, Badger Mode combination, and that didn't really do as well. But today we got a really spicy list for you and see if this deck can achieve the title of King of the Week. So, let's get into it. We got a Kaito Midrange deck, blue and black, otherwise known as Dimir. Now, what I'll say about this deck before I start explaining it is, this is the first deck we've played this week that I would consider a full-blown meta deck. A lot of people are playing this on the ladder right now, and it's a very powerful strategy. And that's why I would like to see if it can actually keep up with what the Boros tokens deck performed like earlier in the week. So let's go ahead and get it cracking with this deck list. First off, we got 1 copy of Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is just a nice cheap card that says you can counter any non-creature spell card unless its controller pays 2 mana. Now this card is good for early in games to stop certain things that opponents need to do, certain cards that may be central to their strategy. This card is just a great way early to get them to be able to counter that spell, and they don't really have an answer to it because it's much harder to pay that 2 mana earlier in the game. Now later in the game, if we draw this, it can still be helpful depending on the deck that we play, but we're going to have to be very strategic about how we use this very singular copy of Spell Pierce today. Next up, we got 4 copies of the Spyglass Siren. This is going to be one of our first early plays of the game. We want to get this on the field because it's going to help us to get that Kaito out on turn 3 without too much hassle, right? Like, a lot of people are not going to have the flyers to block this. This thing can fly, meaning you need either flying or an ability called Reach in order to be able to block this thing. So this is going to help us be able to get that Kaito on the field, and also generates a map token for us. And what the map token does is it allows us to sacrifice it and pay 1 mana, and we can explore. Now, Explore is an ability that allows us to look at the top card of our library, and we can either put that card into our hand if it's a land, or if it's not a land, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on the creature that does the exploring. So in this case, if we use it on the Spyglass Siren and a creature was on top, the Spyglass Siren would then go to a 2/2, okay? So next up, we've got 2 copies of Cecil. We saw this earlier in the week in the life game deck, and it didn't do a great job here, but in this deck, it is absolutely amazing. What it does is it allows us to get this lifelink body, and because we're not gaining life, it's more likely that we'll be able to actually flip this thing and get over to the other side and get indestructible for all of the different creatures that we're going to be wanting to attack with as we're controlling these games, right? We got 1 copy of Stab. This is just an extra tool to help us with some early game removal when we come up against small creatures like the Badger Mole that may be a little bit harder to remove. This is going to just help us get some of those things out of the way early. Tragic Trajectory. Now this is a kind of a similar card, but it has a little bit different functionality. So if we can use this after a permanent of ours left the battlefield this turn, because we don't play warp, so you see if a spell was warp, we don't play any warp in this deck, but if a permanent that we control left the battlefield, then it gains this void ability, which lets us give any creature a -10/-10. Now, most creatures in the format right now, you're gonna be able to kill with a -10/-10. Most things, unless you're playing like the life game decks, with the Ajani's Pride Mate and the Essence Channeler, like, most things are not going to get above where this can kill it. So this is going to help us take out some of those bigger creatures, some of those harder, peskier to deal with type of monsters. So this is why this card's in the deck. Then we have 1 copy of the Soul Guide Lantern. Now, This card is very important because of the amount of reanimator strategies that you're seeing right now, which is decks that are trying to put cards into the graveyard, big monsters, big spells, big whatever into the graveyard to then get them for cheaper on another turn. This card is here because it allows us to exile specific cards from graveyards, but it also gives us the added functionality of being able to exile the entire graveyard should we need fit. But it also does one of my favorite things in the world. It draws us a card. So we got 1 copy of that. 4 copies of the Flood Pit's Drowner. This is one of the main control tactics of the deck. This creature for 2 mana has flash, which means it can be played at any time that a spell could be played. This card can be played and hit the battlefield. So it often, comes in and surprises the opponent. Well, it's not going to surprise anybody today because they know the deck that we're playing. But what it does is when it comes in, it immediately taps an opponent's creature and puts a stun counter on it. And what that does is the next time that creature would untap to be able to attack or block, the stun counter says, nope, you don't get to do that. So this is going to help us control the board with some of those creatures that we may not necessarily have the power and toughness to fight outright. But if we can get them tapped, we can go ahead and push damage with some of our other creatures. So that's the rationale behind the Drowner. We've got 2 copies of Bitter Triumph. This is just extra removal, extra ways to be a little bit more toolboxy with our removal spells. If we need to get rid of Planeswalkers, if that does hit. Not a lot of people are playing Planeswalkers outside of Kaito, but if we come up against a mirror match, you're definitely going to want something like Bitter Triumph. Then we've got 3 copies of the Deep Cavern Bat. Now this card for 2 mana is similar in nature to the Duress card that we played in the Mono Black Revenants deck yesterday, in that when it hits the field, it's going to allow us to look at our opponent's hand. But instead of taking a card and just discarding it and putting it to the graveyard, that card then goes underneath this card. It sits underneath this card as though this card has exiled it, and they don't get it back until this card is destroyed. And so this is going to help us in that early game to take out some of the opponent's most important pieces. The other great distinction that it makes is that this card can get any non-land card, whereas Duress has to hit a non-creature. This card can take out creatures and just take things off of their battlefield. It can also get removal spells out of their hand if we needed to. So just a great versatility to help us kind of control that game until we're ready to end it. 3 copies of Shoot the Sheriff, another toolboxy way for us to remove creatures off of the battlefield. This allows us to target any non-outlaw creature. And if you're curious about what an outlaw is, if you see over here to the side, outlaws is any creatures that are assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, or warlocks are all considered outlaws. And you'll see stuff like that on the creature types. Like for instance, the Flood Pit's Drowner is a merfolk. You can see by the creature type there. So if we come up against creatures that don't fall into one of those categories, this card can eliminate it instantly for 2 mana at instant speed. Next up, we've got 3 copies of Stock Up. This is one of the most popular cards in the game right now, and quite honestly, probably one of the most powerful uncommon cards that I've ever seen since I've been playing this game. So for 3 mana, what it allows you to do is to look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You can put 2 of them into your hand and you put the rest of them on the bottom of your library, right? This is going to help us to just stay full of answers. This is one of those things where I say, if you run out of juice, you're almost kind of just dead in the water in Magic. I mean, this thing right here is as juicy as they come. It's going to keep us with cards that actually matter, that we actually need in the moment. This is going to keep us flush with those type of resources. So next up, we've got 2 copies of Tashana's Tidebinder. Now, this card is very interesting. It also has flash, like the Flood Pit's Drowner that we played earlier. But this card has the ability to where when it hits the battlefield, I can counter up to 1 target activated or triggered ability. And that may sound a bit confusing, but you'll see in today's video, hopefully if we get a chance to play it out, you'll see exactly how it can counter the abilities of certain cards when they activate, like into the battlefield triggers, or activated abilities that cards may just have while they sit on the battlefield. This card is going to be able to nullify those things, and then that card, if it's a creature, an artifact, or a planeswalker, it will permanently lose all of its abilities while this card stays on the field. So this is just another way for us to shut down some of those really, really massive effects that would otherwise end games against us. Next up, we have 2 copies of Preacher of the Schism. This is another card that we played yesterday in the Mono Black Revenants deck. And again, this is just a way for us to get a little bit more value, help us draw some cards, help us gain some lifelink bodies to keep us in these matchups until we can find our enders and kind of end the game. Next up, we got 3 copies of Enduring Curiosity. This is the deck's main card value engine. If we can get this on the battlefield, as you can see, it also has flash, so it can be played at any time a spell could be played. If we can get this onto the battlefield and get a couple of our attackers through, every time an attacker gets through, this draws us a card. So if we hit them with 3 creatures, we draw 3 cards. This is going to keep us with a lot of value and make sure that we never run out of juice in this deck. And that's one of the main things that makes this build so powerful, is that it always feels like it has answers to the test. Also, if they try to destroy this card without exiling it, it has the ability to return itself to the battlefield just as an enchantment, allowing us to still get that effect of drawing a card every time we deal damage with a specific creature. This is what I would consider to be the boss of the deck. Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. It's a legendary planeswalker for 4 mana, but we're not trying to play it for 4 mana. We're more so concerned with that ninjutsu cost, which is 1 neutral mana, a blue, and a black for a total of 3. So during our turn, as long as he has loyalty counters on him, he's a 3/4 ninja creature and he has hexproof, right? So what ninjutsu means is that if we have a creature attack, say for instance this Spyglass Siren, and the opponent either cannot block it or chooses not to block it, once that decision has been made, we can play 3 mana to ninjutsu, sneak Kaito onto the battlefield in its place, and then now you got a 3/4 creature on the field dealing extra damage that also has hexproof on during your turn only. It's important to remember it only has hexproof during your turn. But also this thing is going to help us draw extra cards when we need to. It's going to help us have a bit of deck manipulation with the Surveil ability. It can also grow itself with emblems to where ninjas we control get +1/+1. It also has the ability to tap target creature. So if we come up against big creatures that we cannot beat, this card is going to allow us to put 2 stun counters on it, so the next 2 times it would untap, it will not be able to. So that's the beautiful thing about this card. This is going to be one of the main things that we use to try to beat our opponents down today once we've effectively and thoroughly controlled the battlefield. And then the final card, before we get to the lands, is the Unagi of Kyoshi Island. I only wanted 1 copy of this because it's just kind of like, again, a utility card, kind of toolboxy. It allows us to gain some extra card advantage and put a big body on the battlefield. It has ward, which if you remember from yesterday, ward simply means that if they don't pay the cost that is after it, that comes after the word ward, then that spell, whatever they use to target this card, ends up countered and rendered useless. And the ward cost for this card is Waterbend 4, which Waterbend is a new ability from the Avatar set, obviously for people who watch Avatar. But Waterbend just allows you to use creatures and artifacts that you control as almost essentially mana to pay for this, so you can use creatures to pay for the 4 that it costs to be able to target this. But it's still kind of a pain to deal with, especially once we have all of our other creatures on the battlefield. And it also just helps us draw extra cards and keep up with our opponent. This card is very good for the mirror match. If we can get it and our opponent starts trying to draw cards on us, it's just going to allow us to keep up in value and potentially get ahead of them. Okay, so that's it for the cards in the deck, and now we can delve into the land choices. So first up, we've got what I'm going to call Agnakela. All right, now I'm not entirely sure that's how you say it, but Agnakela is how I would say that, right? This is a land that's going to enter as long as we have a basic on the field. It's going to enter untapped. And for 3 mana, it lets us draw a card. And again, another thing that just allows us to get more value if it ever gets to the point where we run out of juice. I don't expect us to with this deck, but you never know. We've got 4 islands, of course. 1 Realm of Cold, which we used yesterday, allows us to make a 1/1 colorless spirits creature token, which can also be very big if we need something to sneak a Kaito in. Because it can't be blocked by 9 spirits, this can also be used to sneak a Kaito in late game if we need to. And then after that, we've got 4 swamps, 4 Gloom Lake Verges, which gives us untapped mana at any point in the game. It can be tapped for any color as long as we control an island or a swamp, a basic island or a basic swamp. We've got 1 copy of Restless Reef, which is a creature land, which for 4, it becomes a 4/4 blue and black shark creature token with Death Touch, and whenever it attacks, the target player mills 4 cards. We can use this offensively or defensively. We can use it to get rid of their deck to mill cards and keep them off of resources, or we can use it to try to move ourselves through the deck and see some more cards that we may need. So this thing has a lot of utility in that way. And then we have 1 copy of the Undercity Sewers, which this card allows us to surveil whenever it hits the battlefield. And all surveil means is that we can look at the top card of our deck, and then we can either choose to keep it on top, or we can put it into our graveyard. So we keep it on top if we want it. If we don't want it, we put it into the graveyard. 3 copies of Fabled Passage. This is just going to allow us to go and fetch out our basics when we draw it, which is just going to help us get into further plays and ramps us later into the game. And then the Multiversal Passage, which is just whatever color land that we need it to be. This is pretty standard by now at this point in these decks, but outside of that, man, yeah, this is the deck. I think it's going to be a really, really strong contender this week. But I can't wait to play some games with it, so I will see you there. All right, y'all, we got a real one today, man. We playing some Dimir Midrange, and I want to see if this deck can conquer the Gauntlet this week and end up taking over the Boros token spot, which right now would have to go perfect to even have a shot. So right now, we're starting and looking at this hand, and I'm just going to be honest, I do not like this hand at all, and so I'm going to go ahead and take a mulligan. This hand is definitely better. It's got a lot of removal, got the Spyglass Siren. I think I'm gonna put back the Curiosity because it might be a while before we can play it. All right, so this is the last deck of the week, and after this we're gonna get our final tallies, and we're gonna see if we can crown us a king after this. But first it starts with this first opponent, and they have taken 5 cards. All right, so now we're gonna get this Spyglass Siren in, make us a map token, and what you got? What you got? I really hope everybody has had a wonderful week, man. I know I have, and this journey, this very first week of making Magic the Gathering content has been very fun and rewarding, and I'm just glad to be able to share this with you guys. So let me stop talking so I can make decisions. I'm gonna go ahead and explore with my Spyglass Siren, see what we got. And I got a land. Okay. Let's go ahead and attack and end the turn. Are we gonna see some Badger Mole action? What is this? Seal Malamed Exemplar. So your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Aha! Got you. That needs to die. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That is kind of confusing. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, also they have to be buffed up. Okay, got you. So we could play Kaito this turn and stun that. Or do we just... I'm not entirely sure that it's the most pressing thing at the moment. So maybe I think we do get this Kaito in and just stun it so it can't attack afterwards. Let's do that. Because Kaito's going to get us quite a bit of value. Boom. Ninjutsu. You know what I mean? Look. Action. we're gonna go ahead and stun this thing. Boom. Ah! Told that boy to sit down. What you got for me? Okay. I like it. You're gonna be real disappointed when I destroy that, though. I'll tell you that much. But I don't know that that's gonna be this turn. So what I'm gonna do is play that land. Yeah, and I won't be able to kill him until next turn, but he won't be able to do anything until next turn either. So we're gonna play the Spyglass Siren. We're gonna play the Cecil, and we're gonna explore on the Siren. Another Kaito we don't need because we're getting this one back. Unless, of course, he plays another Sheltered by Ghost. That is a possibility. Okay, what do we got? Summon Fenrir. Search your library for a basic land, put it in tapped. Okay. Doesn't have any kind of landfall, right? Nice. Okay. No landfall. Now he left open a white, so I always have to be prepared for the possibility that they're gonna have the Shard Mage's Rescue. We learned that yesterday. But I do have multiple ways to kill this thing though, so I think I'm just gonna make him have it. And he does not, so I get my Kaito, which I'm guessing has Summoning Sickness. I want to start getting that. I want to start getting my Cecil through, so let's go ahead and stun Fenrir so he can't block. I don't even want to give him the choice. Okay, so now what do you got? Oh, and this thing will be gone too, right? Yeah, it's a saga. Yeah, this thing will be gone too by the time it removes the rest of these stun counters. Ew, man. What do we got? Exile a creature is probably going to be what? Cecil? Yeah. Bye, Cecil. Bye, Cecil. What else are you doing here? Wait, does it just exile it? Return the exile card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Wait, they give it back to me? What did they just do? What is that? Target creature, remove a lore counter. I like that. So they get to remove one and go back to chapter 1 next turn. That's solid. That's solid. This is not going to be a creature next turn though, so it's going to be the Siren. I don't have enough to power up the Reef. So in this case, I say we try to get some cards with the Kaito. Draw, surveil 2 and draw. Yep, I definitely need a land right now. We don't need that Bitter Triumph. So let's go ahead and get this Swamp. Boom. And truth be told, we chilling. If they try to draw a second card with anything, I'm gonna play this this Unagi of Kyoshi Island. That's fine. I might play it anyway, because yeah, this will be game. If they don't, depending on what they have. If they have creatures, this could just be whenever it attacks, you may remove a lore counter. Also, they're very heavy on the sagas. This is a sagas deck, it appears. Yeah, summon Fenrir. So that was the last thing they can really do. Okay. So now I'm thinking I Flood Pitch Drowner him, kill the Fenrir. That's 3, 4. 5, 6. And then this will do the job. Okay, this will do the rest of it. Okay, so we do the Drowner. Boom, get him. We're gonna stab Fenrir. He's gonna be a creature. We go ahead, power him up, and that's gonna go ahead and do it. All right, you can mill those 4 cards. Game 1 is in the books, so strong start from this deck. I think the only thing that could potentially hold this deck back from potential King of the Week consideration is whether or not we actually go up against the meta deck. So we'll have to see, but excellent first matchup. Whoa, my sweet baby Jesus. All right, what we got? Opponent goes first, but I think this is a pretty good hand, low key. I could use some more lands, but I got a lot of tools right now, so let's get it. Got a lot of tools right now. If we can draw 2 more lands, including a blue one, that Curiosity is going to put in some work for us. This is Insidious Fungus. This can destroy an artifact or an enchantment, or draw a card. Okay. Let's go ahead and play out the Siren. Get our flyer online. You got to be ready if you draw that turn 3 Kaito. So I like to get something invasive on the battlefield early. Because like the Cecil can be blocked, right? Like, I mean, I guess I do have the bat as well, but it's just more options, I suppose. We've got a lot of control options. So we're bushwhacking. We're bushwhacking. So is this a mono green list? I am not blocking. I think I want to take a look at what's in their hand more than I want to explore. Because, yeah, we got a 3rd land and we can stock up next turn. Push come to shove. Yeah, let's get it. Oh, I think I definitely want that Tifa gone. I am not trying to let Tifa go crazy. What else they got? Snakeskin Veil. Okay, good to know. I can play around it now. Bristly Bill. Yeah. Surely we can find a removal spell for that, right, Magic? Surely. Not blocking. So there's the blue land. It's like also we do have the Flood Pitch Drowner. So like even if he does grow, I really don't know that he's going to be able to attack with that thing. And then next turn we got the Curiosity. So I say we explore with the bat, see what we get. See if we get it. It would be greedy to keep it, wouldn't it? I throw it to the graveyard. All right. All right. And we're gonna attack, get some damage in. Now I do got to keep in mind that he has that Snakeskin Veil. But the stock up should help us find more answers, or the Curiosity. Plus we're gaining life, so I'm not too afraid of that. Okay, let's do it. What do you got for me, Mr. Bristly Bill? If we see a Badger Mole in this matchup, it would be, I would consider this a meta deck. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then it has 3 or more. Sacrifice it, and they can search for 2 back. Ooh! Hold on. That might get disgusting. That might get disgusting. I need to come for that very soon. So I need to force him to use that Snakeskin Veil now. because I knew he was going to use it. The damage was going to happen regardless. But he's definitely going to use it now. Okay. And then I need to dig up a way. I need to leave back a blocker, and I need to dig up a way to kill that. I don't have any one mana. I do have the trajectory. The trajectory is a 1-mana spell that could kill it, but I would have to somehow get a permanent to leave, which could happen if he blocks and kills the Drowner. So let's stock up now. Let's see if we can find a trajectory. We did not, but we did find another Drowner and another land which I could use, certainly. Anything in this graveyard I'm worried about? Not really. Maybe some land situation, but only thing we can do now, let's go ahead and attack and see what happens. See if he wants to block the Drowner. Okay. So now we play the Dark Knight. So now we got a Death Toucher on the field. If he wants to attack with that Bristol Wheel, he's going to have to get trampled. There's something we also want to kill. Can he move around his +1/+1 counters? Yeah, we're gonna block that and kill it. Now we're in a bit of a situation because we absolutely need a spell that can kill this Hydra, because if he can play even just one land next turn, we're gonna be in trouble. I do have the Drowner though, and I think a part of me wants to use it now, because if he untaps and has a Snakeskin Veil, that's not going to be good for us. So I think I have to use it now. I think I have to use it. Yeah. We really need to find, I probably should have did this in a different order, but okay, that's fine. We really need to find a kill spell to get rid of this thing. And there's so many of them in the deck, it's like blowing my mind that we haven't found one already, so. Help! Help! Okay. So we could just draw all sorts of cards right now. Could also do some ninjutsu action and try to draw into a spell to kill that Hydra, which I think that's what we have to do. Let's ninjutsu and Kaito. Take one of these sirens off. Boom, boom. Tap, tap. Don't want either one of those. In hindsight, I probably should have just stunned the Hydra. We are sitting at, what is this? This doubles it? Yeah, I messed up. We should have just stunned the Hydra. Yeah, we should have stunned the Hydra. Oh well. That was on me. That's an error on my part. We should have just stunned the Hydra. I was trying to find something to just get it off the field, but we really didn't need it off the field. I really just needed it not able to attack. So that's ultimately going to be on me. So on to the next game. You know, one thing I think I've really underestimated about this whole process is how tough it is to be entertaining and good at the game at the same time, right? All right, so what do we got? Definitely not keeping this. I can't play anything but shoot the sheriff right now. So mulligan. We do have a land. We do have a blue land that'll come in untapped. So we get a black land. We got a blue land. We can make all of our plays. Okay, sure. Put back the Unagi. It's the card we're least likely to play in this hand. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, because what are we doing? But okay, let's get it. 1 mana play. Yeah, I think a 1 mana play changes things. I want to get that on the field. It gives us a chance to see a turn 3 Kaito. Are we playing a mirror match? Is that what's happening here? We got that third land. Comes in tapped though, unfortunately. So with that being the case, let's go ahead and get a basic. We'll get another blue land right now. Get another blue. Go ahead and explore with the siren, because that's all we can do right now. See what we can get him. Shoot the sheriff. I don't really know that we're dealing with a lot of... We might be dealing with the same type of strategy that we are using right now. So I'm going to put that in the graveyard. I might regret that at some point. But until they show me some creatures, we're going to stick it out like this. Now, playing that third land. Now, this makes me feel like we're in Tashana's Tidebinder territory, where they're gonna try to negate one of my effects using one of my own cards. So I'm either playing that Preacher to be mana efficient, or I'm playing that Deep Cavern Bat to get into their hand. Let's attack. Get our damage. Stabbed it. Okay. That kind of makes me want to get into that hand. I would rather have that countered, I think, than the Preacher. But this is absolutely a mirror match. Let's see if they got another one. Because next turn we'll be able to play the Drowners to get some attacks off. So they must just have a kill spell for this. Something to tap it. Okay. Playing the Fey Bloom trick. Create 2 blue fairy. 1/1s, tap target creature. Okay. Kaito of their own. Kaito of their own. That's me on some psychic-ish, I suppose. I'd really love a 4th land right now. Untapped, of course, to be able to try to play this. Well, never mind. Doesn't matter. So that thing has hexproof, right? When it's their turn, so I can't target it with the Drowner. Yeah, we need to stock up pretty badly. Uh-oh. That does nothing against the Kaito. because it's not a creature on our turn. I can at least take this and kill the flyer, I guess. Okay. They're whooping on us pretty thoroughly, I'd say. Now there is a world where next turn we can flash in the Curiosity and get them to attack, block it, and kill the Kaito while it's in creature form. But that depends on if we live long enough to do so. And they're playing the Deep Cavern Bat, so they're probably taking that. Well, they could take the Kaito. They could take the Kaito. But they also now are not going to run into it the way I wanted them to. And they did take the Curiosity. Okay. Not too worried about the bat. Okay, okay. Drawing a card. It's probably gonna draw some more cards.
Information is its own weapon.
Is that so? Three Flood Pit Drowners. So I can get both of these two cards tapped and stunned, but that Kaito is still going to be a problem hitting us for 3 every turn. But then next turn, I can try to attack, get my own Kaito. We'll go to their turn. Situation's looking a tad bit precarious, to say the least. Deck's not performing as well as I wanted it to. So of course they're coming for that, right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just go ahead and play these out now. You have a tie binder of your own. Another one. Gonna counter that one. No, you are not. Can't target Kaito because he has hexproof, unfortunately. So now you take whatever you need to take, and it's probably gonna be our Kaito. No surprises there. However, are you gonna attack knowing that I can kill this Kaito with my 2 blockers? Oh well, no, not unless he does the +1/+1. Yeah, now I can't. I will not block. I really could use a Bitter Triumph. I could probably use 2 of them, to be honest with you. Get a map token. I mean, when I tell you we are fighting for our absolute lives right now. Preacher does have Death Touch. I'll keep it. Also, we can get rid of one of these cards. I choose you, Pikachu. Don't tell me. Do not tell me we're tied binding this. Okay. We're gonna attack this Kaito. Very good. Completely forgot they had the fountain port. This is not good. I need to get that curiosity off the battlefield too. Take away his advantage. Okay. That might be game. Yeah, he gives the +1. Good stuff, man. Honestly, I really just feel like this game was a case of we went second in this matchup. Like, it's very tough to get on top when they start doing the thing you're trying to do, but they do it first. So, can't be too mad at that one. But unfortunately, this one is in real danger of being eliminated, where I thought it was actually going to be one of the strongest contenders. So, we're going to have to see. Okay, so never in my wildest dreams did I think that this deck would be fighting to stab off elimination like this, okay? There's been a little bit of, unfortunate circumstance in that, but, like, it's not doing the thing, And we're going second every time, so it's not going to really help with a deck like this. But I'll keep this in. We've got plays we can make. Let's see. What do we got? Last matchup. Mayo Man Dan. Are we playing some honest to God aggro? Okay. Finally, something I can get jiggy with. Jeez. This is really what the deck is built to destroy. So we're going to go ahead and stab that. Stab. You feel me? Like, let's get it. Come on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play blue, and I'm going to pay the 2 life, and I'm going to pass the turn. Because I'm going to play the Flood Pitch Drowner to go ahead and make sure that gets stunned. Butterflies. Butterflies. So we play the Drowner. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. All right, so I guess we can just go black here. Am I playing the Preacher or am I playing the Bat? I think I'm playing the Bat. I want to see what else you got left. The Grease Wrench Goblin. So we're playing an honest to goodness Goblins deck. I rock with it. Okay. Now what? Oh no. No block. That's a blocker. Okay, let's go ahead and get some more blue mana here. So I can put some pretty significant threats on the field as far as blockers are concerned. So let's go ahead and do that. And then no attacks. What do you got for me? What do you got? Now he's probably just gonna keep making these doggone 4/4s every turn. So I have got to find a way to kill that. Which ultimately might mean that if he attacks, we'll see. And now he has another one. Great. And the thing I took from him earlier, he just, found another one of those too. I mean, this, he must have 9 lands in his deck and just the rest creatures, It's got to be 9 lands in the whole deck. Okay, I'm gonna let him get through with that flyer, unfortunately. But I'm gonna kill this thing. I need to Kaito. I just cannot. pretty annoying if I'm being honest. I just cannot seem to draw the plethora of kill spells that exist within this deck. Like, this has been a significant issue for this entire day.
I've trained for situation just in time to save the day.
You know the flyer comes after him if I don't stun it. Everything comes after him if I don't stun it. So it doesn't matter.
My eyes are as sharp as my...
I guess I can't say no to another Drowner. And Cecil can also block some things. I have plenty of mana. I can't say no to that. That's an exhaust thing, right? Okay. Okay. Not gonna block.
This place needs more hospitality.
Okay. So play out this land. Let's get the Deep Cavern back just to have another flying blocker. Draw 2 cards. Yeah, we'll take that, I suppose. We will play the Cecil, and then next turn I'm gonna drown one of the flyers. This is a much different type of aggro deck than I'm used to playing too. People are getting real creative on ladder this week, ain't they? I mean, Lord have mercy. So we're gonna get one of the flyers. Flyers are the main source of my problem right now. He doesn't want to do that, so we're gonna go ahead and tell that to get out of here. And I would just really like to know where all of my kill spells are. Like, what did the deck do with them? Put it on the life linker. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll work. Because now that allows us to get a little aggressive next turn with this siren. Because if you want to go ahead and block it, that's fine with me. What is he doing here? Other creatures you control gain haste. With a +1/+1 on this creature. Okay. Big hasty beast. Is that right? Is that right? Okay. Alright. Just, if you say so. If you say so, man. Both of them have been spent, so it really doesn't matter. this is not looking good. I think I can kill that with a trajectory, but then he's still coming through with all that damage. I've got 3 blockers to 4 attackers, which means 2 is getting in. I guess I do have an extra blocker, the Reef. Yeah, unfortunately, this is how it has to be. Unfortunately. How lovely. How oh so very lovely. Get him out of here. Block that. Block there. Oh, goodness, man. Yeah, that's gonna be it, because with all the juice that I put in this deck and with all the kill spells that I put in this deck, I drew absolutely none of that in these matchups, man. This is extremely disappointing. This is just extremely disappointing, man. Yeah. That's gonna be it. Yeah, I'm not even entirely sure what we were supposed to do there, especially not drawing any of the kill spells that we needed to draw. But I mean, this thing legitimately lost 3 in a row, and that's very surprising to me. But it is what it is, man. Everything counts in the gauntlet. So let's go ahead and take a look at the standings and see where we are. All right, so as you guys saw in the video, the Kaito deck was completely a massive disappointment. It didn't get any bonus points. It only won 1 game, and it was just absolutely disgusting for it today. So we got 1 win, we got 3 losses, no bonus points. Oh, also, let me go ahead and just show you guys. Yesterday, we made a mistake with the Mono Black Revenants deck. I said that the deck got 7 points. Really, it got 6 points based on the scoring system. So just a quick thing right there. Also, you guys may have noticed that we updated the spreadsheet a little bit, but outside of that, let's keep going. So yeah, man, with 1 win, 3 losses, no bonus points for the week. Unfortunately, that means that the meta deck gets eliminated, all right? And along with the Life and Death combo deck, which is very surprising to me, I gotta be honest. So Badger Mode, it made it for a week. It's safe in 3rd place. Mono Black Revenants was 2nd place. It ended up being a lot better than I thought it was gonna be, to be the 2nd place deck. And our king of the week for the first week of the Black Magic Gauntlet is going to be Boros Tokens, man. So congratulations to the Boros Tokens deck, man. It really overperformed this week. This was a deck that I wasn't thinking was going to have a whole lot of success. I mean, it beat a meta deck. It also won 4 games in a row. Like, this thing was truly incredible. So this is going to be the deck that we're going to be taking into Sunday stream in order for us to ladder up as much as possible. And with no changes. That's another thing about the King decks. The King decks are not eligible for changes the following week, okay? So the Badger Mode deck and the Mono Black Revenants deck, if I feel like I need to make changes to those decks to make them a little bit better, to make them more competitive, I can do that. But the King of that week is not going to be eligible for changes. We have to take it into that next week as is. So Boros Tokens is our inaugural winner of the Black Magic Gauntlet. So let's go ahead and enter that into our King leaderboard that we've come up with over here. The King deck was Boros tokens. It had a total of 10 points, and it had a 100% win rate. And this is the first time that it has earned King of the Week status. So outside of that, man, I'm really excited to get this into the ladder on Sunday for the stream on Twitch. I hope to see you guys there. If you've been watching with us thus far, I really appreciate it. If you stayed this long into the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give us a like and a subscribe over here. We do a lot to try to put these videos together for you, so I really appreciate your support, and I will see you guys on Sunday for the Twitch stream. But outside of that, I'll see you next week, next Monday, for the start of a brand new week in the Gauntlet. We're going to have 2 brand new decks coming up, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next week or Sunday in the Black Magic Gauntlet. Thank you. Peace.